I first met Alan at one of the early Fin Haven conventions. I think it was 1976. And I was 14 years old. He was a few years older, but we quickly became friends. And obviously we shared the interest in ventriloquism. But in 1978 or 79, I won Most Deserving Vent from Alan, and he gave me Archie.
To talk about my friend Alan Semok is not a difficult task. The most difficult part of this is probably, where do I begin? I think we all know that he was a fine ventriloquist, a fine performer, a dedicated actor, so involved with Vent Haven. We all know that. But I think when I think of Alan as a person. And I think of Alan as not having a mean bone in his body. He was just a sweetheart of a guy, a fantastic friend. You know what
I guess when I was about 11 or 12 years old, I started to learn ventriloquism, and all my friends had paper routes. I had a suitcase, and I started doing the usual birthday party shows and Cub Scout shows and things like that, and get $10 or $15, so that automatically made it better than a paper route, It got to the point where I needed a better dummy. I was using one that we had gotten in a department store, and I had contacted Frank Marshall, who was like a famous dummy maker. He made most of the really famous ones down through the years. But by the time I reached him, he was in his late 60s and not easy to get a hold of, and not really interested in, 13-year-old kid with acne and limited funds. So I started just to learn the process myself. My dad was an amateur woodmaker, and so he taught me how to use some of the tools. And actually, this is the workbench that he built a couple of years before I was born. And so gradually, I just pursued it and tried to improve the process. And by the time I was 15 or 16, I was selling them to a magic shop in New York. And from there, onward and upward.
Hey, this is Austin Phillips from Phillips Puppets, and I just wanted to say a few words about my good friend Alan, who I was super fortunate enough to have known in my life. He was one of the biggest heroes to me and still is today. He was somebody who just took this art form to a new level, and what I really loved and admired about Alan's work was he was able to produce something modern, but at the same time, it was completely classic. It was the perfect blend of history plus his own artistry to make a contemporary figure that would really just play to any audience, and it was super likable. And I think the magic that Alan was able to distill in his work is something that I still try to figure out every day how he did it, and I'm looking at these dummies every single day of my life.
Hey, what are you doing?
We're paying tribute to Alan Semok.
You're looking the wrong way.
No, I'm not.
Then you don't know Alan.
Okay, Buffy, why don't you sit over here?
Alan, we love him. That's the whole idea behind him. Oh, that's a good one.
In 78 or 79, I won Most Deserving Vent from Alan, and he gave me Archie here. What? He gave you to me.
Alan gave me to you? Why? Did he lose a bet?
No, he just gave you to me as the most deserving vent. He thought I could put you to good use.
And did you?
Absolutely.
Really? How long was I in the act?
From 1979 until 1984.
Oh, that's a pretty good run. Yeah, and then what happened?
I replaced you.
With another dummy?
Yeah.
And then where did I go after that? Jeff.
You went in the
suitcase, right? Suitcase.
It's great.
Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then where have I been ever since?
In the suitcase.
Right, yeah, okay. And where am I going to go after this?
Maybe the suitcase, probably.
Okay, right, yeah. Okay, keep talking. All right.
think one of the first interactions I ever had with Alan was I was about 7 years old, and I remember calling him up on the phone. I don't think he remembers this because I always brought it up to him, but he never knew what I was talking about. But I was 7 years old, and I remember I called him out of the blue, pretending I knew what I was doing at 7 years old. And I asked him how long he made his head sticks, because I thought that was going to be the key to figuring out how to make the perfect dummy.
Hi, Craig.
Hey, hi, Dee Dee. Dee Dee, the drummer from Shining Time Station. Where were you?
I was just practicing my paradiddles.
How was it?
Can't beat it.
That's a good one, yeah.
Hi, Billy Talkers.
You know, we were just reminiscing about Alan Semok. Anything you want to reminisce about?
I don't know how to reminisce,
Oh, that's okay, girl.
but I remember something.
Okay, well, that'll do too. What do you remember about Alan Semok?
What a great musician he was.
And she knows some great musicians. She used to work with Tito Swing.
I also remember that he played Tex, the most handsome of the boy brothers.
You realize that I was Rex.
Like I said, the most handsome of the boy brothers. On the left side.
You recovered very well from that one, I'll tell you that.
You know, when I had to choose somebody to create and duplicate Howdy Doody for Bob Smith, there was really one person that came to mind, and that was Alan. Not just because of his art and his talent and his creativity, but because of his trust. I knew I could trust him. I knew I could trust him to do it right. I knew I could trust him not to duplicate what he shouldn't duplicate, and to do everything appropriately, and he did.
Alan was a brilliant ventriloquist.
No, duh.
And one time, and this is our son Gabriel's favorite memory, we were taking an elevator up to a rehearsal hall, and a stranger got into the elevator. And Alan looks over at Gabriel and gives him a wink, and then in his best distant voice says, "Hey, help me! I'm stuck!" We all start looking around, and the stranger starts to panic. And then when the elevator door opens, we get out, and Alan says, "All right, never mind." And then as the door closes, we fall on the floor cracking up.
Alan was just one of those people who would do anything for anybody. He was an absolutely lovely person, and I'm super proud and honored that he called me a friend, and I owe him so much, because without Alan, we wouldn't have nearly as much as we have today in the ventriloquist community. He's just somebody whose legacy needs to live on and needs to carry on, because what he did greatly impacted this art and always will. And Alan is forever going to be somebody people like me look up to and love and miss. And there's nobody else like Alan, and we miss him.
Alan, you're looking the wrong way. On behalf of Olga and myself and all the Flexitoon puppets, I just want to say, we love you.
And we'll miss you forever.
Thanks for everything, Alan. Bless you.
But Alan did become a close friend, and what I owe Alan is a lot of my very early skills in learning to make figures. He shared with me so much knowledge and pretty much taught me the basics of building a dummy. Everything from the materials to the basic mechanics. And it was because of Alan that I started building my own dummies in early college years. But to me, what I miss most about Alan is his sense of humor. That's, to me, what set him apart from so many folks. He was one of my oldest friends when he passed. And he had great skills as an actor, as a performer, as a ventriloquist, as a figure maker. But what he had was a sense of humor that was unparalleled. He could make you laugh in just about any situation, and a lot of it was just wrong. And that's what I loved most about Alan.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I miss the most.
I loved Alan. I was talking to Alan right to the very end. But again, I think when I think of Alan, I think when we all think of Alan, we need to remember Alan as an incredible person, an honest person, a good soul, a wonderful citizen, and somebody that that I loved very much and miss him. Alan, I know you're there, and I know that you probably know we're talking about you, and you're probably thinking, why? Well, this is why, because of all the people that loved you so much. Rest in peace, my friend.
Basically, this is the way most of my figures operate. You know, there's a lever for the mouth, there's one for the eyes, and sometimes we have this closing
Nice.
eyelid thing, you know. And obviously that's just the externals. Inside, we've got a pretty nice array of plumbing in there that we can... So there's the insides there. I mean, I'll move some of these things so you can see them kind of...
The eyes. It's what the inside of my head looks like on a good day. Amazing.
Yeah, it's all like brass linkages. There's some steel pieces in there, but basically I just try to make everything solid because I want to make them. You know, I build these for people that are out there doing shows, and if you get a really busy performer that's using the puppet all the time, you know, you don't want anything breaking down, and so everything is pretty much like brazed and soldered in there so that it's pretty secure.